Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the Blackwater Podcast. What you got coming up for you today is we're talking about our favourite bands where their debut album is our favourite. So this doesn't mean anything after it is bad. This doesn't mean that they've never released a good album again. Just we think the debut is the best album they've ever made. We also talk about our favourite, not our favourite, but a 2025 album we want to mention. And then we talk about the namesake of this podcast, Blackwater Park, which is what the wheel landed on today. And just a heads up for this episode, we go wildly off topic throughout a majority of this. So if you are interested in hearing us just yap on and waffle on about stuff we are interested in, and hearing our discussions, hearing our debates, this is the episode for you. And as always, rate us highly on Spotify and everything. Let us know what your opinions are on anything we talk about in this podcast, because as I said, we talk about a lot of different stuff, and I'm really interested to hear, if people have differing opinions, people agree with us, people, whatever. But without further ado, I'll leave you on to pastors and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the you're good. To the beautiful Blackwater podcast. We were just having a brief conversation of some of our favorite 2024 albums, and we were speaking on for too long. If we just started talking about 2024's album, we would have forgotten to do the podcast. So here we are yet again. We have some lovely talks for everyone listening. But before that, I just want to ask you guys how you guys are doing this week, what you've been up to, any new stuff they caught your ears on?
Well, I've just been in Wales, unfortunately, which I know Nick's going to make a joke about because.
All right, I just moved there already at this point.
I've gone there 4 times in over a year. It's not like I go there every
four times too many. Get that shit out of here.
No. So I went to a place that, if you actually search up, I doubt you'll be able to even say the name because it's.
Oh, I want to stay in Wales.
A place called Aberystwyth, which is right on the edge of Wales, right on the coast.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got friends there. They're in bands. There was supposed to be a DJ night. It got cancelled, so I just went up there to see friends. And yeah, went to go see a castle that was there for the Welsh War of like 1400 or something like that. It's actually a very cool town because like everything is in 2 languages because a lot of people there still speak Gaelic, which I'm pretty sure Gaelic is what they speak in Wales. Yes. Wait, no, Gaelic's what they speak in Scott. Right?
Are you okay?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, it is Gaelic. It's Welsh Gaelic. Yeah, but it's pretty cool. And I also found a record shop that had like an Orphan Land CD, which is pretty cool because they're like a Middle Eastern progressive metal band that are really, really based in politics, but their music's really good, and I'd highly recommend checking them out.
And how is Wales as a country? I have no clue, like whatsoever. Like views wise.
Oh, it's very well. It was like the first time in fucking 20 years that it's been sunny in the UK. So very nice sun over the beach.
Don't lie, it's not sunny there ever.
I took a picture because it's so hard to believe that I had to take a picture to prove it. But yeah, it was very sunny, very nice. It's very much a seaside town, which I know makes no sense to people that don't live in the UK, because what a UK seaside town looks like. But yeah, very cool. And I think it's a very old village, so it's got a lot of like old buildings and history to it, which is very cool.
What about my fellow co-hosts Hugo and Nick? Anything exciting aside from music?
I heard an album, but no, I'll talk about it when we talk about the 2025 albums.
Okay.
This is on my list, but not new albums. I got my glasses the other day.
Oh, I haven't seen a picture of you with them.
I posted it on Twitter.
Oh, well, I was in Wales. How's life in America? Because it seems
so
shit, to be completely honest.
So I'll get to life in America in just a second, but before I get to that, let me just talk about my day real quick. I woke up 6:30 in the morning, which that by itself doesn't really piss me off because I had my alarm set for 7 a.m. The fucking fire alarm going off, right? All cylinders. And then so I'm sleeping, right? My sister's sleeping next to me. I wake her up and we're rushing out because we have 2 cats. We have to get the cats, and the cats, they go wild when the fire alarm's going off. So then my dad wakes up and I ask him if mom already left for work. Mom left for work, so it's whatever, right? So everyone is there. We just have to get the cats. So as I'm rushing to get the cats, the fire alarm stops. Like, okay, false alarm, right? So then I got on with my day. I was supposed to wake up in 30 minutes. I just stayed up. Okay. 2 fucking p.m. Okay. I'm watching the Panthers game, which, by the way, we lost today. Unbelievable. Well, not on that right now. Okay. 2 p.m. Fire alarm goes off again. And I'm just sitting here thinking, how am I going to do anything in my day, right? So, same procedure, right? I get off. I have a comfort on my couch. I get up, look for the cats. I can't find the cats because they hide the fire alarm. One day they're gonna die in the fire because it's gonna be an actual fire for one day, and I can't get the cats. Okay, so
Sorry, why don't you just turn off the fire alarm?
it's
I probably am.
Why would you turn off the fire alarm?
I mean, turn like when it's ringing, you just go and turn it off, like stop it ringing, basically. Like take the batteries out.
I can't. It's an apartment complex. I don't have that control. I don't.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, it's not my house.
Not that dumb.
You sure?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
I'm not sure. My dad figured out that he can lower the sound of it while it goes off. But it was super unpleasant, and it happened twice again later in the day. Like, I'm expecting to be, woken up again this night. But to get to the original question, so, just to elaborate, that you guys are happy and I'm pissed off today. But just to answer your question on how life is here right now, well, my life right now, I'm basically just working and studying, applying to dental school soon. But obviously, the political side of it is it's a shit show. I mean, there's like the fact
just after the tariff.
It's so hard. It's so hard to put into words what happens in my day to day, because I go on Twitter and I see that tariffs are flying around, and then there's 2 sides arguing why it's good, why it's bad. It's clearly bad. I don't know how you can make it good, but somehow it's good, right? And
but it's called illusion.
I don't know, because like I see this right-wing post talking about, someone please explain to me, like I'm 5, why the tariffs are so bad that the other countries do it to us too. And they're like, this stupid fuck of a tweet has like almost 70K likes.
That's because Americans think the whole world revolves around them, and we all get everything we need from America. So apparently, like, I saw it was like, oh yeah, if Australia would like tariff us, we'll tariff them for our meat. I'm like, when the fuck have you bought American meat?
Like, this dumb fuck telling me to buy American. How am I gonna buy American coffee? That doesn't exist.
No, bro, they grow it from in Hawaii. That's where they're gonna get it from.
Oh yeah, and then I go to Starbucks and got a latte. It's at $1,000. Like, hello.
Oh, your first issue is drinking Starbucks. That coffee is disgusting.
Okay,
your
listen.
First issue is drinking coffee in the first place.
Okay. I'll get to the. Hold on. I'll get to the 2 statements here. 2 statements. To start off with the Starbucks comment, I don't completely disagree with you, because although I do like Starbucks, I prefer my coffee at home. Okay, I make my own coffee. But you, Hugo, you have a problem with it. And you too, Connor, because you're talking about some based.
Coffee is fucking awful.
Yeah.
Coffee is delicious. Coffee is delicious.
Bro, motherfucker, just drink tea. Just drink tea.
I drink tea too.
Yeah, tea is better in every way.
Hey, go to London.
You're not Danish. PTSD to tea because they're fucking Australian, and Brits used to run their country.
I mean, of course, the Brits telling me to drink tea, but I didn't expect you, Hugo.
I'm telling you to drink tea. I don't really like tea that much. It's better than coffee, but I don't drink it.
Yeah, I was just putting you guys in the same side.
Tea slaps, and it's
like the smell of coffee makes me want to throw up. I
love the smell of coffee so much.
Like
coffee's fucking gross.
If we ever rank our favorite smells, coffee is probably my number one.
That'll be like Blackwater Pod episode 2000 when we finally run out.
Well, enough coffee talk. What do we have in order today, my beautiful co-host Connor?
The idea for today is we are doing our favorite debut albums that bands never topped. Now, this does not necessarily mean, as we chatted about when trying to come up with stuff, this does not necessarily mean, I think this is very important to preface, that everything they released after it was bad. This just means that the debut was the best thing, in our opinion, that they ever did. Now, I've not done it, but I feel like people can be a bit fast and loose with this, with like, not side projects and stuff, but like EPs and stuff, if people want to pick those and not include them if they are just counting full albums. But I think most of us have just said full albums. But yeah, this is bands that their debut album, in our opinion, was the best or our favorite, which I think is the best way to always do stuff. Is the best thing they've ever done. But after that, they never quite hit it. And I mean, I may be speaking for myself here. It's a lot harder than I actually thought to find bands that peaked on the debut.
It's a lot harder than I thought it was. A lot harder.
Like all of us talk about so many times about, this is a great debut. This is one of the best debuts. So many bands peak on their second or third, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Trying to look, but yeah. So we've each picked 3. I think some of us have honorable mentions and etc. And we'll go Bido, Vitor, Nick, and me. We'll go 1 each and then go around 3 times. So Bido, do you want to start us off with what's your first pick?
So I'm going to start off with a band called Ni Obliviscaris. Now, Ni Obliviscaris, they're kind of like extreme progressive metal, I guess you could say. It's like progressive metal mixed like with elements of black and death metal. And they released their debut album called Portal of Eye in 2012, and this album is, this is an absolutely fucking incredible album. It is an absolute 10 out of 10. It is pretty much perfect. It has amazing melodies, has amazing vocals. What makes Ni Obliviscaris so unique is that they have a violin player, and they do it really fucking well. Sounds great.
Shout out Australia, right?
Yeah, they're an Australian band. And yeah, this album was just it was a great album. However, there are 3 albums after this. They released one in 2023, recently. None of them have really been able to live up to what their first album did. I feel like they were really just like after Portal of Eye, they were really just trying to like capture what they did on that album again, but they were never really able to. Like, it feels like they were just trying to make that same album again 3 times. But it didn't really work. Like, it doesn't really feel... I don't know, it doesn't feel fresh enough. It just feels like the songwriting isn't really there. Maybe? I don't know, I maybe not necessarily that. Maybe I'm explaining it badly, but, like, I feel like the songwriting, at least for me, it just doesn't grab me as much on those albums. Like, it's not bad by any means. It's still enjoyable, but like it's not nearly as good as their first album, at least in my opinion.
I hear you.
I feel like I just feel like I feel like what they need to try to do is they need to try to make something that's just completely new. Like they just need to make something that's just like they need to make something that's completely unique and new and that isn't like trying to recapture what they did on that first album. I want them to experiment a little bit. And Ni Obliviscaris, they have lost their harsh vocalist, the guy who's kind of like the, I don't know, face of the band would be right, since their violinist and their clean vocalist is also kind of like frontman, but he was probably the most famous member of the band. And he's no longer with the band. He left, I think, for personal reasons or something like that. And they have a new vocalist now. So maybe that will lead to some more experimentation. We'll see. I don't know. I'll be keeping an eye on them because again, I do really like their first album, and I think their other albums are okay, but I feel like they need to do something to try to capture what they did. Like they need to do something that's not just trying to recreate.
They need to not try and recapture the magic and go for something else.
Do you agree? Do you agree that "Forget Not" is the best song in that album?
I mean, I love all the songs, so it's hard to choose just one, but yeah, probably.
Okay. I'm probably sitting the same agreement there.
Also, a thing I think that I should have mentioned in the intro, the band must have 3 or more albums, because if we're just including bands that have
Correct.
1 or 2, it's if we're just including bands that have 1, then like
I could have just said Calendar Brood or something. How about that?
Or I could have, Gotham City was the one I mentioned.
Yeah.
Because it just makes no sense to just include them. So they must have 3 or more full albums together.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Vitor, what's your first pick?
It was really hard for me to find some names, but when I saw this, I immediately thought, yeah, this one's for sure going on my list, and this is Opus Eponymus by Ghost. Clearly their best album, and what's that?
I'd argue Meliora, but
Meliora is probably my second. But in my opinion, Opus is their best work, and it has a raw feeling to it, opposite to Meliora. Now I love Meliora, and it's a more polished sound, right? But it just captures me more a little bit probably, and I think the cover also has to do with it. Complete casual comment, but I absolutely love it. Love the cover, and so I think the back to back of Prime Mover and Genesis is like one of my favorite things. Of like modern music, really, I absolutely love that sequence between the two. Plus, the early parts of the album are also absolutely phenomenal.
It has an atmosphere that I think they've never been able to recapture. I'll say that much. I think the overall feel of it is something that they
like in Death Now. Death Now has absolutely beautiful atmosphere, right? Conclave con Dio also in that realm. So I definitely agree with your atmosphere argument. But when it comes to their best technical work, objectively, like more sound, it's probably Meliora, right? But anyway.
Right, Nick, you're up.
I've got Zombie Attack by Tankard. Even though that album isn't like amazing or great, I still think it's their most polished and work, and that's their most well put together. The lyrics aren't cringy or as cringy. They're still pretty bad. But for Tankard standards, I feel like it's their best album easily.
Definitely
I'm not
a
a
funny
fan
cover.
of that band normally.
The one after it I prefer. But yeah, it's very different from what came afterwards. I know you don't like Tankard, just like me, but if you don't like Tankard, then that's the one to. I think the one after it does have like. Is the one after a Diary of a Slot on it, or is that the one after it? Is that when their lyrics just start getting like so bad?
I get they're like a party thrash band. They don't do it well.
No. I think them being in the big four of German thrash is just a bit, in my opinion.
It's a little silly.
It's too high, yeah. No, I definitely agree.
They're definitely the Anthrax, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
I don't even hate Anthrax, but
you should hate Anthrax.
But they just have a very different feel than the rest of the bands. Especially like
compared to the other big four German bands, it's like that dragon. It's like the serious looking dragons and then the silly looking dragon.
Yeah.
Not that being silly bad. You can do it a bit better, in my opinion. Yeah. All right. For my first pick, I'm going with an album that I don't think many people have heard outside of the UK. It's from a band called Franz Ferdinand, if anyone's heard of them. They are not a
Franz Ferdinand?
Yeah. Then like the Austrian. Was he Austrian? I should know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're kind of I'm not saying they're hard to pin down, because they're not. They're kind of like a pop rock, indie rock band from the mid 2000s. They were very much this, them and the Strokes were this very much like British rock is starting to become a thing again, and then it just died out. But their debut is still one of my favorite albums. It was one of the albums that really got me to check out full albums when I was starting to get back into music in my mid to late teens. You may have heard the song "Take Me Out." That was the one hit that crossed the pond to America. It's one of the best kind of like popular songs ever, in my opinion. The way it starts faster and then has like a genuine like tempo shift halfway through, it like slows down and hits it with this like like pounding drum, and then like this really cool riff. It's just a really fun pop rock album. It's just, that's the best way to put it. It may not blow your socks off. It's not really trying anything new, but it's just like songwriting perfection. And unfortunately, after this, they kind of, it's just like with Bidders, they tried to recreate the magic on the second one, and it just didn't work. And then they've kind of went in a more different direction where they went a lot more electronic. And I think it was getting better. But then they released another album this year that's just them trying to recreate the magic of the first album, and they've fallen back to where they were on the second, in my opinion. A lot of people love the second, so I'm very unpopular in that. But yeah, my first pick is Franz Ferdinand. You could not escape this album in the I was too young to remember it, but back in like 2005, 2006, it was one of the biggest albums in the UK charts. So, yep, that's my first pick.
So my next pick is one of the biggest names in old school death metal.
Morbid Angel.
Entombed.
Oh, okay.
I
have Entombed in my honorable mentions.
Yeah, so Entombed, they obviously released their debut album Left Hand Path in 1990, which is, I mean, it's a death metal classic. I mean, there's not really a whole lot you can say about Left Hand Path that hasn't already been said. I mean, it's just one of the best old school death metal albums.
One of my favorite covers too. I'll say this. Absolutely
Yeah,
love
the covers. The cover is definitely good.
I love the cover.
After Left Hand Path in 1991, they obviously released Clandestine, which was also a good album. It's also a really good album. But I do think Left Hand Path is better. But after Clandestine, it does not look very good for Entombed. They go into kind of like a death and roll direction with Wolverine Blues. I know a lot of people do like Wolverine Blues.
I don't know.
I agree with you. I don't think it's good at all. I think it's very bad. And then after Wolverine Blues, I mean,
it gets a lot worse.
It gets really bad. It gets really bad. I mean, it can listen to
Dad rock.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened. I don't really know what happened to this band, to be honest with you. It's definitely not great.
A discography as a whole, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's valid.
The cover of Wolverine Blues is so bad. It looks like it was like made for cassette.
It's so bad.
It was made for cassette, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we need to make a vinyl and CD version of this."
Yeah.
So they just added black to one side, and like, yeah, that'll do. Like even like
it's horrid.
But like even like with the blacks was like centered would look better than like. Why is it? Oh, just I can't exactly say, but it looks so bad. And they got rid of their great logo for whatever the fuck it is on the Wolverine Blues. Like,
yeah,
I don't think you'll have much disagreement.
So that's horrid.
Yeah.
I don't really have a whole lot more to say than that. I think this is kind of like a pretty self-explanatory one, but yeah, I think I'm gonna give it over to.
And it's a good pick. It's a very good pick.
Yeah.
The album, I mean, not the discography.
Yeah.
All right, Vitor, you're up.
All right. Well, I don't think we've ever talked about this band. I probably imagine you guys might like it. You guys should like it for sure. And it's if I were to make I haven't made an official, like you have, Vito, like my favorite albums of all time, but this would definitely be in my top 15 at worst, and it's the self-title for Rage Against the Machine. This is
Banger.
a fantastic fucking record. Fantastic record. You guys never listened to Rage Against the Machine?
I like
Of
Radio.
course.
I
I was
have.
about to say. I was about to say because
I think they're okay.
I think it's a phenomenal fucking record. I
The
love this
riffs on
album.
that album are amazing.
I've not listened to the album in ages.
Morello's
So-
work in this album is absurd. But like Far and Beyond is most creative work. The purpose of the album, like the lyrics are great, really. And Freedom's a classic. Know Your Enemy is a classic. Wake Up is a classic. Bullet in the Head is a classic. Bomb Track, Killing It. The whole album is phenomenal.
Oh, album's pretty
And-
much a classic at this point.
Yeah, it really is. And they don't follow it up all the same. Evil Empire is good. Battle of Los
Oh, I
Angeles
like
is good.
it, though.
Renegades is more melodic.
Like-
Renegades, I'm not a fan of. But I like
More
I like
funky,
Evil
right?
Empire.
I like Evil Empire. Yeah, I like the band. I like
Okay,
Rage Against,
But is
but
it
they're
Battle of Los Angeles? It's not as like consistently good as the first two, but it does have songs like Testify, which I think is just it's more like I guess not as experimental.
I love Guerrilla Radio. Sleeping Now in the Fire is one of my favorite songs from the Ashes in the Fall. Born of a Broken Man is phenomenal. Mic Check. I love Rage Against. Absolutely
Yeah,
love Rage Against.
still not a new album in however many years they've been.
I'm not expecting one at
That
this
shit's
point.
not coming out.
It's never coming
Yeah.
out.
They broke up again, I think.
Did they?
I know that's what someone was saying the other day.
I don't know. Was that
I don't know.
they-
They break up and
they
get back
break
together
up.
every year at this point.
True. They show up, say they're gonna play some shows, don't play the shows, and then
They
yeah,
get back
speaking
and
of
break up more frequently than a toxic relationship.
true. That was another thing that happened this week. Agent Steel once again cancelled their London shows. I'm not seeing them. They're like a really good speed metal band, and I literally bought the tickets and said to my dad, "They're going to cancel the show because they're famous for not showing up to their own shows. Like they said they were playing in January, then didn't show up, so everyone got a refund, and then they're like, oh yeah, we'll play here on like the 22nd. But then a couple of days ago they're like, no, we won't. So they're never going to show up. Basically, I'm never going to see them live. But well. All right, Nick, what's your second pick?
Now it's probably I don't know because I know you guys don't really like new metal a lot, but I've got LD50 by Mudvayne. I don't
Mudvayne
know if
actually has a
you've
lot of
heard
good
that.
stuff. I actually like some of their stuff.
I really only like their debut. I think everything else after is generic dad rock garbage.
Yeah, but
LD50
LD50 definitely has some. I mean, Dig is
That's- yeah,
Dig's a
that's-
fun
that's-
listen. Dig's a very
that's
fun
a-
listen.
LD50 is a very good album.
I agree.
But the rest is just no. Not a
I'm not
fan.
gonna lie to you, I do not like Mudvayne at all. I think they're horrible.
I have only heard Dig, and I don't really like that song. So that's basically my take on it.
It's not something that I catch to listen by myself. You know, it's not. Oh, I can't wait to get home and listen to Mudvayne. But if somebody puts it on, I won't complain.
The only thing I'll say about Mudvayne is they have a really good bassist. That's what I'll say. Their
Yeah, they
bassist
do.
Oh
is
yeah,
great.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
But I don't know. I don't like the music at all. I
Martini
think it's
is
kind of horrible. I think their music is absolutely horrible. I don't like it at all.
I think if one of my friends put it on, they'd get like booed out the building and out the friend group. No, my friends.
I think the singer's name is Chad Gray or something.
That's way too close to Chad Kroger for my liking.
I believe it's Chad Gray. They have another band called Hell Yeah, which like the worst fucking name ever.
That's all with fucking
From
Vinnie
him.
Paul, isn't it? There's
Yeah,
really
it's,
fucking.
yeah, it's got
a
Vinny,
band
had
in it.
Vinny Paul in it.
I love that. Was it their one of their album covers is so funny. Isn't it all one word or
And-
something? Yeah, their first album. If you can search up, their first album cover is like them with his like default ass logo, standing in front of like CGI green screen flames. It's so funny. It's so
And I'm gonna be honest, I used to listen to a bit of Hell Yeah back when I was like 15, 16. I didn't mind their 2019 album, but the more I actually get better taste, the more I realize how cringy and not good.
Fair enough. My second pick. Yeah. For my second pick, this is the one I thought when we were talking before this. I said one of mine I think some people might pick. This is the one I thought. I'm going to go for Holy Diver by Dio. Now, I think not that this is his one good album. I think after it, I think Last in Line's great. I really like Dream Evil. I think Strange Highways from the 90s is great, but nothing has come close, in my opinion, to Holy Diver. I'd say if you want to show someone what heavy metal is, you just give them this album and it kind of gives them a good rundown of it. Stand Up and Shout is such a good opener. Holy Diver is one of the most classic songs in metal. Gypsy, Caught in the Middle, Don't Talk to Strangers, Invisible, Rainbow in the Dark, Shame on the Night, Straight Through the Heart. It's basically a greatest hits compilation. And after this, he very much tried to copy this album's formula. Do some very good stuff. I love the next album, but I'd say from front to back, this is by far his best. And I think that's far from an unpopular opinion. But yeah, Holy Diver by Dio. It's my second pick.
Yeah, it's a great one. And it's a great pick.
Yeah, it's a good album, but he's got. Probably it is his best, 100%. But I still think the albums after are good.
Yeah, no, I agree, but
it's just his best one.
Yeah, I think Last in Line's very close, but it just follows the same formula. And but yeah, I don't think it's Dio's best album. I'm not even sure if I put it in like my top 5. It would make my top 5 Dio albums, but it would be like a number 5. I think the stuff he did with Rainbow and Black Sabbath was better, but it's a classic. And what's it? The guitarist in this album, his name has gone from my head. Vivian Campbell is one of the most underrated guitarists. Mainly his fault because he joined Def Leppard in the 90s and just has not done anything interesting since he joined that band. And there's this interview where, like, yes, Dio could maybe be a bit harsh on Vivian Campbell sometimes, but he did go like, it was like, oh, Vivian, I gave you the world, and what did you do with it? You joined Def fucking Leppard. Dio said that on like a street interview, and it's so funny.
He's right.
So I did not see that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and to be fair, this album is basically just a Dio supergroup. It's got Jimmy Bain, who played on Rainbow Rising. It's got Jesus, his name gone from my head. Vinny Appice, who played drums on Mob Rules, and would basically be his drummer for the rest of his career. Yeah, absolute classic album, and might be in his best. All right,
my third and final pick. This might end up being a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be divisive with any people in this VC, perhaps. But I know with some of my friends, this might be a little bit divisive. And that is an album called Vikingligger Veldi by Enslaved.
It's very controversial.
Now, Enslaved, they were early on. They were, you're kind of like not necessarily average because they're amazing, but they were, they were your traditional Norwegian black metal. And then after that, in the 2000s, they transitioned into more of like a prog band.
I love Below the Lights so much. It's hard for me.
Black metal, yeah, I like Below the Lights too. But I think their first two albums, but their first album especially, I think it's just some of the best black metal out there. And I don't really think that. And even though I like their newer proggy stuff, I don't think it's as good as this album was. I think this album is just like, it's almost exactly what I want in black metal, and it's
so atmospheric, right?
It's amazing. Yeah, I
it's
mean,
so nice. It's so nice.
Great. It's amazing.
I probably agree with you, but it's hard for me to say because Below the Lights introduced me to Enslaved, and it's a band I adore.
Yeah.
Like I like Isa, like,
Yeah, I like Modern
Old
Enslaved.
Guard, even Heimdall, like some of their most recent. I did the whole discography is pretty solid, very consistent.
But yeah, again, I
probably agree. I probably agree. Yeah.
I just don't think they ever came. I just don't think that any of that gives me the same enjoyment that I get out of this album. Now maybe that's just because I generally like black metal more than I like prog, even though I do like prog a lot because Opeth is my favorite band of all time. But could just be because of that. I'm more of a black metal guy than I am a prog guy, so maybe that's just why. But I don't know.
You know what I love about the album, as well as the structure. I love long songs, and it's just straight to the point. Like,
Oh yeah,
Wolves and Eternal does the same thing. They're very direct in how they structure their songs. Like 200 is one of my favorite black metal albums ever, and it's very similar to Valdi in that sense, and how they structure songs. Just straight up, you just sit down and listen to this, and you get 5 solid songs, and nothing else. Like, there you go. It's very, very simple, very direct, and I love it.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it over to you now, Mr. Vitor.
Yeah. I'm gonna say one, and I'll follow it up with my honorable mention. And it's kind of hard for me to not say this album because it inspired so much of what I listen to today. It's a revolutionary album in the whole sense of the word. It came out in 1969. In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson, right? Obviously they have a plethora of other great albums, but in the Court of Crimson King is when you think progressive rock, you can't talk about progressive rock without talking about the Court of the Crimson King. And that there's nothing that I can say about this album that none of you guys haven't heard already. It's a masterpiece, and it created a whole genre, really. So, and my honorable mention is Choirs of the Eye by KO Dot. It's very experimental. It's progressive. It's avant-garde ish. Has atmospheric elements to it as well. And it was a pleasant surprise to me. I came across it on YouTube. I liked the cover. I saw great reviews on it. I liked it and absolutely love it. And they have a vast discography, and they do have other good stuff. But Chorus of the Eye, definitely above the rest.
I don't think I've heard that one.
I've
heard Court of the Crimson King, but not the other one.
Mm-hmm. It's not that well known, I don't think. It's from Boston. And I mean their debut album came Boston. And their debut album came out in 2003, right? So quite recent. And it's great. I imagine Vito would like it, I think.
I don't think I listened to it.
Yeah, it's called KO Dot, the band, and the album is Cores of the Eye. It's worthwhile listening to for sure.
All right, Nick, what's your final pick?
I've got Burn My Eyes by Machine Head. Even though I don't think after Machine Head after that album is bad, but it's just not nearly as good as the debut.
No.
It's sort of like Connor with Theo. It's like still good, but it's nowhere near as good as Burn My Eyes. Because that album is phenomenal.
Well, I've not actually listened to the album yet, but I will say The Blackening is a phenomenal album that came out like 2007. But it's a great album from them. But I think many people saw it as a return because a lot of people say they took a very big dive after. Because they tried to go like new metal, right? And it just didn't work.
Sorta. It's like groove and new metal mixed together.
Yeah. Also, you go.
I think Machine Head did groove probably some of the best groove. I know I burned my eyes because the riffs on that album are amazing.
Also, I had one in my head that I thought you were going to go for it. You didn't. I thought you were going to go for Out of the Cellar by Rap. So I know you. That's another.
Oh, yeah. I
The
fucking forgot
debut
about
is
that.
phenomenal, and then after that, it's just not good.
It gets worse and worse after the debut.
It really does.
That's my honorable mention, probably.
Rat are one of the only glam bands I really listen to, and I think the debut is so good. And after that, it's just them trying to recreate the magic, and it just doesn't. It doesn't work, basically.
You know, some of the horse shit that band released after that album needs to be studied, honestly.
It's because as the 80s
How
went
do
on,
they consistent?
glam got popular and
they
popular. They just followed the trend.
It's like, how do they consistently make worse and worse music each year? It's fucking incredible
Yeah.
how they managed to do that.
Yeah, I had a bunch of honorable mentions or ones I was close to picking. Morbid Angel came to mind, but I kind of prefer Covenant to the debut. But Morbid Angel were one that came to my head. Yeah. Tank, the new album band, I think their debut is better than anything they did. Misfits were a weird one. So the debut album is Walk Among Us, which isn't my favorite. But they recorded an album with Static Age in the late 70s before it, but that didn't get released until the late 90s. So it's technically not their debut album, but everyone says it's the debut album because it was the one that they recorded first. So I was going to pick it, but there's too much finickiness with it. Diamond Head, another new album band with debut's classic. I could not really care less about anything else after it. Halloween, I think their debut is their best, but it's so close between the first two for me that I didn't want to pick it. Ace Frehley starts off with a great hard rock album. After that,
I don't want to talk about his latest.
And his latest album is one of the genuine worst albums I had ever had to listen to. If you want to hear a nearly 80-year-old man talk about sex, give the album a listen, but I don't think anyone really does. Haunt, modern bands, I think their first album's the best. And Guns N' Roses, I think their debut is widely regarded as the best. I think.
I think Guns N' Roses is so mid. It's unbelievable.
Cool. Garbage band. Horrible. Get that shit out of here.
Right.
Horrible.
I like the debut. But my main pick is one that will be controversial with some people. I think everyone considers this a very good album. I think people consider the couple that come after it a lot better. And I'm going to go for The Legacy by Testament. I know people love New Order. I do as well. But this is the definitive thing on. I don't think this band have released a really bad album. Demonic's not great, but apart from that, I think everything else is pretty good to some of the best thrash ever. But there's something about the debut that people like to shit on the production. It sounds fucking it sounds molten and like in a club. It's such a good sound to it. Over the Wall is such a good opener. The Haunting, Raging Waters might be my favorite Testament song, but Into the Pit exists, so I'm already denying that. But it's one of my favorites. First Strike is deadly. Do or Die, Alone in the Dark. It's one of the best. It might be my favorite thrash debut. It might be my favorite. I know a lot of people.
They peaked on that album. It's crazy, especially the albums that came after it.
What's your favorite? New Order.
I like Souls of Black and Practice What You Preach are my favorites.
Practice What You Preach used to be my favorite. The last year or so, I've been listening to this a ton, and I think I think the first 3, maybe 4, including Souls of Black, are probably their best run. Although I will say they are the best thrash band in the 90s. Their 90s stuff is so good. Low is a great album, and The Gathering has Dave Lombardo on drums, and it's so clear. He's just hitting those things like it's.
To be fair, it's not very hard to be the best thrash band in the 90s.
True, but they whereas most bands went groove, which they did on Low, but they did it well. Is the difference. But they went death metal, and it's so good. Chuck Billy might be my favorite thrash vocalist, but Alex Skolnick's guitar is lethal on this.
Favorite.
He's probably my favorite. But yeah,
Only a Mystery who's my favorite.
I will completely understand if people disagree with this because I, as I've said, I think basically every one of their albums is great. They're also one of the best modern thrash, like all bands doing thrash now. Their newer stuff is so good. But yeah, the
They
legacy.
gotta release their new fucking album.
Yeah,
They do.
sometime this year.
Hopefully,
I think they're mastering it still or something.
they've been
They said they're
mastering it.
mastering it.
They said they mastered it for like 3 months.
Yeah, I think they've been mastering it since like January, February. So I assume it probably comes out in a couple weeks or months. Sorry.
4 weeks, yeah.
I assume the first single will be probably next month or something.
But yeah,
But
I love the ones
speaking of thrash, Sodom's releasing a new album this year
Yeah, that
Dude,
in June. I think June 26th. I think it was.
I'm
I think it
so
was like
fucking pissed. Dark Angel's new album is AI cover art.
Oh,
I'm
that
so
pissed me
pissed. Because, dude, I was so excited for that. Because like, Dark Angel was my favorite thrash band of all time. Like, I was so excited to finally get a new Dark Angel album. It's fucking AI generated, man. I really hope they change it.
Hopefully they do.
If you're gonna listen to it, just pirate it because
Yeah.
So it's on streaming. It's not like it's not like they get any money from it.
yeah, it's just I'd rather not.
I know, but yeah,
Yeah, because fucking.
I don't.
What's it
that
called?
was such a downer. I saw it. I was like, oh. Actually,
Yeah.
I was.
Have you listened to Dark Angel, Connor? You have, right?
Yeah.
Peak thrash.
Yeah. Darkness Descends is my favorite thrash metal album of all time.
Top
And
5.
I mean, fucking Gene Hogan is just such a fucking crazy drummer.
Yeah.
I think he's probably the best metal drummer.
Yeah, probably.
Top 300%.
And he's been in so many He's been in Dark Angel. He's been in Strapping Young Lad. He's been in Death. He's been in Testament. He's been in fucking what's that one band called? Death Clock or whatever the fuck it's called. He's in that. He's in like 1 million bands and they're all good.
I genuinely think he probably might be one of the most influential
drummers
ever.
100%.
Well, yeah, it's good. He just everything he plays on, the drums are something you notice. And I think that's one of the more.
He's underrated. He doesn't. I see a lot of people always talk about like Dave Lombardo. I'm like,
and the fact that on Darkness Descends he was what 15, 16.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
He's a monster.
Lars took a little look at the Darkness Descends title track. He took a little peek.
Dude, I mean, his drumming on Titans of Creation by Testament is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, his drumming's on what's it? He drums on City by Strapping Young Lad, right?
I think he drums on all. I think he drums on all the albums. Oh, let me check. I'm pretty sure he's on all the albums.
I know he's in City, but I don't know about the rest.
He might not have been. He might not have been on.
Heavy. No, he's on the first one, but I think he's on every one after it.
He is. Yeah, I know he's on City. Let's see. Is he on?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's on the reunion stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fucking downer.
Yeah.
I was in a pub with my mates, and they were like, "Oh, we're really clever." Oh, say I are.
Yeah.
I seriously don't understand how hard it is to pay an artist to do, or just do the art yourself.
Genuinely, I mean it when I say I'll take a fucking drawing on a napkin over a fucking.
Why can't? I know, like how 80s bands used to get like fine covers like from books and all that, and like historic art pieces. Why can't
just do it. Just
those
do it.
bands just do that?
Call an author and go, "Can you please use your artwork?" And they'll go,
The
"Yeah."
first thing that Bathory did.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like that painting. I don't know what the painting's called, but you know what I'm talking about.
Use a historic painting. Also, a funny story about that. One time a guy posted the painting and I retweeted it saying battery reference and he blocked me. That was quite funny.
Why did he block you?
I don't know.
But like, it's not hard to even just go and take the photo yourself. Go to like some place and take the photo yourself.
Just go take a picture. Everyone, all right? And this is my thing with AI. shameless plug. I have a video on it. Watch it. It's very good. But yeah, everyone has a phone. Everyone that can record music. I'm not saying everyone, so I know there will be some people that don't, but most, like the wide range of people who have the ability to record music have a phone. Just
or at least something to take a photo.
Take a band picture. Why is this not a thing anymore? Just take a band picture. It's better. It's not great, sure, but it's better than fucking AI art. Just take a band picture.
DP.
Yeah, just go somewhere, take a picture.
It's really not hard. Taking the photo yourself also doesn't cost money. So I don't understand why they do AI.
It's easier than using AI.
Yeah.
It really pisses me off.
Oh yeah, just use fucking old art that's in the public domain. No one.
That's what bands in the 80s did.
Yeah.
And it worked perfect.
Like, yeah, there's some covers that are not great, but I'd rather them over AI. Like,
see, you remember that Category 7 album that Squashy really liked last year?
yeah, that cover is awful.
That album cover is horrible, but at least it's real.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen that album cover, search it up. It's fucking horrific.
Such a category.
What is that?
So,
but it's real.
By the way, this has members of Exodus and Armored Saints, so it's not like a small band. This is a major band that like a major supergroup that was released on Metal Blade Records. So it's not even on a small label. It was released on a big label, and they decided that was the best cover.
What is that? Looks AI generated, even though it's not.
But see, I'd rather that than AI covers.
Yeah,
it's horrific. It's so fucking horrible.
I'd rather just do the fucking Possessed or Pentagram thing where you just put your logo on the front or a black background. Like, yeah, it's not great, but it's better than fucking. Like, yeah, Reinventing the Steel by Pantera may have one of the worst album covers ever, but at least it's a real drunk guy jumping through fire with a censored beer bottle on the front.
Album cover's horrific, dude. Fucking hell.
Or just do the Vulcan Display of Power and punch one of your guys and take a picture of it.
It is really not hard to make your own album covers.
It's so easy.
But some bands are just really just lazy, and
it's not only lazy, it is just fucking insulting to actual artists that.
Yeah, and it steals art from artists because even AI it takes photos from the internet and it.
Yeah, just do the Amethyst thing where they just took a picture of themselves on black and white, edited it with like a knight throwing down a glove. That's it. That's the cover. It's not hard. Like,
it takes maybe like an hour of effort to make an album cover.
Yeah.
Just find public photos and there.
Or like the Immortals album covers are famously shit. They look so corny on all their covers except for the first one. And there's the really cool in the heart one.
I'll be talking about that.
Every other cover after it just looks like they're posing. And it's Blizzard Beats is awful. It's a Blizzard something. Blizzard Beasts is awful.
Is that white album cover?
No, that's the one after it.
God, the album cover is horrendous. It is so fucking funny.
Blizzard Beasts is
Battles in the North.
Battles in the North is so funny.
I'm looking at them right now.
Fucking Damned in Black as well. If you search that, it's so bad. Even Pure Holocaust, like their hair is so permed and they look like a fucking hair metal band in black, like corpse. It's so funny.
I remember one time, this is kind of off topic, but one time I saw this dude on Reddit ask if Immortal was a Nazi band because Pure Holocaust has the word Holocaust in it.
I mean, to be fair, it's black metal. You can't really be sure.
Yeah,
so it's at least
it was purely because it had the word Holocaust in it. Though.
Yeah, no, but I see what he meant.
No, the Battles in the North was so. It's obviously in real snow. They've obviously gone out somewhere to take the picture, but the background's just white. Like, it's like they've like taken it with like trees in the background, and they're just.
Yeah, it's like they removed the trees. It's funny. It's so funny.
Blizzard Beast for me is the one that's the funniest because it's just having like this like ice like fucking filter over it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
one of the funniest covers.
They have At the Heart of Winter, which is like one of the coolest out. It's like this castle in snow. It's one of the coolest covers ever. It's like
it looks like it's falling, maybe like it's going through a blizzard or something. Like there's action, right?
Yeah,
like.
And then the first album cover is like one of the, in my opinion, it's one of the coolest pictures ever taken. It's like them just like shooting fire out there. Like
yeah, that's one of the most iconic covers ever. On black metal, at least.
But yeah. But at least the point we're making is, yes, these are shits. You will get laughed at for them, but they are at least better than AI are. They're at least more memorable than fucking one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like with Immortal. Yeah, the fucking album covers are horrible, but that's also part of what makes early Immortal so iconic. It's the album covers.
Yeah. When you think of Immortal, you think of the Battles in the North cover.
Yeah.
That may be bad, and they may wish you were thinking. And granted, Opeth, I think, is one of the corniest guys. Not in a bad way. He just comes off as a guy that genuinely thinks he's a fucking soldier.
That one clip of him running down the hill and falling is so funny.
This thing where he was like advertising a clip in London. He's like, brothers in London, I am calling you to come. It's so funny.
He's really funny, even if he's a little corny.
I messaged my friend being like, "Oh yeah, I think he might be the coolest guy I've ever seen." He was like, "I've seen him live. I can assure you, he really is." But yeah,
Well, they do, but what matters most is the music, at least for Immortal, right? We talked about their album covers being shit, but they are shit. The Immortals fucking slaps.
true.
Yeah,
For the record,
Carter
because we're shitty on their covers, but
take.
Immortal actually slaps.
Carter definitely had a little bit of a silly Immortal take.
I completely agree with that. I will stand by. I completely agree with him on that.
No,
It's wrong.
No, it's not.
Yes,
he's not right.
Sons of Northern Darkness is their best album. I would agree on that.
Yeah.
No.
First of all, it's not their best album. And second of all, Carter said that was the peak of black metal.
To the Heart of Winter.
Okay, I don't agree with that.
To the Heart of Winter.
It's also not the peak of black metal.
Sons of Northern Darkness and At the Heart of Winter are basically tied for me, to be fair. It's not like there's much in them. They could basically change any day. But
I definitely, the more I look at it though, I think Damned in Black is their worst cover. What the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah, I know. I was saying that. I was trying to say that.
Jeez.
What the fuck even happened there? Why is the logo so fucking dark? Why are they like? Why is the name of the cover so dark? You could barely.
Look at their faces.
Why is it? By the way, someone signed it, which means someone saw this. They made this art, and they were like, "I'm so proud of this. I want my name to be attached to this forever." And they signed it on the album cover. Fucking hell! The guy on I don't know their names. I'm very sorry. Guy on the left looks like he's about to have a fucking shit. Guy in the middle looks like the only guy that's realized we're taking a picture here. The fucking guy on the right looks like he's pissed his pants. And he's like, shit, I need to fucking cover this up somehow. That's probably why they made it so dark, because there's a probably fucking wet patch around his cock. They're like, fucking hell, I need to cover this up somehow.
Which album are you talking about?
Damned in Black.
Damned in Black.
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
Why is the logo not white? Because that would look cool on the black. Why are they covered with this red mist? I guess, is it meant to be fire? Is it meant to be, I don't fucking know. Why are their hands and skin bright red? Are they supposed to be red? Are they emanating evil? That's probably what they're going for, but
no, it's so funny.
To be fair, even Sons of Northern Darkness cover isn't great, but at least it looks like they're trying. Like they're at least like going, yes, we're taking a picture here.
Yeah.
It's almost like after Sons of Northern Darkness, they're like, we finally got a good cover with the band. Let's not do a picture with the band ever again, so we don't need to like be careful of looking shit like we did on it. But Yeah, Damned in Black might be their worst because
It to me it is. It's so bad.
I know
But
I know the guy on the right's wearing chainmail, but it's like he's wearing a woolly jumper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But guess what? It might be shit, but it's better than AI art.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Or it's like the fucking people. It's like people who, it's shit, but I love it. But I wouldn't have that cover any other way. It's so shit. I like it. It's like the fucking Metal Lucifer covers. If you search up Metal Lucifer, their covers are bad. Their covers are shit. But I would never have
Wait. Metal Lucifer?
Metal Lucifer, all one word.
Metal
They're
Lucifer.
Japanese band.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah, of course.
Fucking Heavy Metal Chainsaw, Heavy Metal Drill. You got Neil Tanaka, who's like one of the most legendary guys in metal because his collection is like one of the biggest things ever. That's just him with green screen fire holding a fucking chainsaw. Fuck off. That's awesome. And all their covers have him on the front because they realize he's a fucking legend. And he sometimes appears at their shows with like a chainsaw. Yeah.
Heavy Metal Ninja. What am I looking at?
Neil Tanaka. There is no hate on Neil Tanaka. Neil Tanaka is one of those legendary guys, and
No, it's just so funny.
it's so good. Hey,
Another thing that annoys me about. Oh, so you go, Connor.
I was just saying, I love how all their album covers. I know they're Japanese before I get told, but all their names are Heavy Metal Drill, Heavy Metal Hunter, Heavy Metal Chainsaw, Heavy Metal Genocide, Heavy Metal Chainsaw Massacre, Heavy Metal Hunting, Heavy Metal Bulldozer, Heavy Metal is my way, Heavy Metal Ninja, Heavy Metal Chilean Hunter was the box set. I'm seeing them and they're playing.
I'm looking at regular music. They have a music video called Heavy Metal Maniacs.
I would not have it any other way, bro. That's what metal's about in the end. It's fucking sick shit like that. And end of this very long-winded thing is if you have like saying people can't afford art is not really saying anything because there's people out there that will probably make you art for very cheap or free. Let's be 100% honest.
Mm-hmm.
If you find someone,
It's such a bullshit excuse because poor bands in the 80s still made real album covers.
But yeah, like what was it?
And bands nowadays make more money than bands in the 80s.
Nah, not really. Depends on the band.
Dream Theater have no excuse.
Oh no, I'm not saying big bands. Like big bands, no excuse.
No bands have an excuse. It doesn't really.
No,
it really does not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even if you have no money, there's still ways to. Yeah, or take a picture is the main thing. So, yeah. Should we get back on topic?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Probably a good idea.
I can't even remember what we're talking about now.
Well, we finished off the best albums, and we are now onto the segment we do every week, which is our favorite. Well, not our favorite. Sorry, just an album from 2025 that we'd like to mention. Can be good, can be bad. Bido, what's your pick for an album from 2025 you would like to talk about?
So my pick is an album that I've been talking a bit about in the GC. I know most people listening to this aren't in that probably, but it is an album called Death Becomes Her by a band called Frantic
I have
Hammer.
to listen to it. I have to listen to it. You sent it to me and I have to listen to it.
Yeah.
I have to listen
So I'd listened to one album from this band before, and it was like, it was pretty good mellow death, some nice riffs in there, but this album, in contrast to the last album, this is blackened mellow death.
Okay.
And
Now I'm
holy
interested.
shit, it is great. It sounds like if Behemoth were mellow death, like good Behemoth was mellow death, pretty much.
I like that you have to be specific.
Yeah. The newer Behemoth isn't very good, but like demigod to Satanist era Behemoth. And the riffs on this album are they are nasty. They're really fucking good. But yeah, I mean, it's just really fun, like Black and Melodeath with some fucking amazing riffs. Like I absolutely fucking love the guitar part. There was one part on it, I can't remember what song it is. There was one part on it that had like a breakdown that was kind of boring, but the rest of the song was good enough where I didn't really care.
Mhm.
There's also a really short song on it called Gore Candy, which is really funny because it's just like a woman butchering another woman as an intro, and then it's just like a super short, super aggressive song, and it's really funny. The lyrics are pretty over the top and like gory, and like it's just really fun. It's also an all woman band. It only has women members, which is always nice to see. I might be seeing this band live this summer because there's a festival that I want to try to go to, and they're playing at that festival, which would be pretty sick. It's not guaranteed that I'm going to be able to go, but I'm hoping to. And if I do go, it's going to be pretty cool. But yeah.
Totally. I hope you go. Concerts are
So
always
do I.
fun.
So yeah.
Concerts are always fun.
Oh, what's your pick, Vitor?
I have a few stacked up, but I told myself I would do this one for this week's episode, so I'm gonna be doing this one for this week's episode, and it's Shadowplay by Juke. I'm a big fan of Juke. You guys already know this by now, and it doesn't top it. It doesn't top Blood and Art Wells, or Ultima Aurora. It might be better than Forgotten Legends. It's probably better than Forgotten Legends. It definitely is better than Forgotten Legends. Never mind. But I absolutely love this album. It's very raw. It feels almost like a tribute to what was the name of the drummer that died? Let me look it up real quick. I always forget it. Amorph. Died in the front lines in Ukraine, and it feels like the beginning of this album is a tribute to that. There's a lot of those themes in this album, and just musically is a phenomenal album. If you like atmospheric black metal, it's probably gonna be top 10 in my list. For people who like this kind of stuff, it's probably going to be as well. It's not There's nothing about this album that upsets you. Maybe they could have done some things better. I wish some riffs were a bit longer at times in some passages, perhaps. Um, but atmospherically, I think vocals are phenomenal. The bass in this album is sick. And I think the drums are the highlight of this album. And it reminds me a lot of Darkside in his work with Magla. If that's how you even pronounce it. I never know how to pronounce it. Um, but yeah, super atmospheric. Beautiful album. I absolutely love this album. So far, my second favorite of the year.
See, my issue with, I don't know how to say the name, Jodicare, I don't know how to say it, is some of their music, I don't know if about now, but the early music is like borderline NSBM.
Talking about the
Like
beginning.
some of the lyrics, I believe early Jodicare, I still don't know.
They're Ukrainian nationalists. They're not
They are, yeah.
NSBM, I don't think, but it's
Yeah, but that's why it's the borderline NSBM.
yeah, it's just very sketch. I don't, you know.
I don't listen to NSBM. I think a lot of it's garbage. Not even just not lyric, even like music wise, it's not great. A lot of it's just generic black metal.
I don't listen. Obviously, I don't align with them politically. And I talked about this on Twitter the other day. If you listen to NSBM just because of their political beliefs, then obviously, that's wrong.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, I like their music. The other exception musically that I like to NSBM is Nocturna Mortem. I think they have some great stuff as well. Again, musically, I wouldn't want to do a what's it called, where you get to meet the artist and backstage and whatnot. There's a name for it. Yeah, I wouldn't do a meet and greet with these guys, but I like their music, and especially when it comes to black metal, there's so many. I mean, there's so many fucking dickheads when it comes to black metal artists.
The music as a whole, so many punts around, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, and even outside of that, I mean, even progressive rock, progressive metal,
honest,
like
in the world, there's just a lot of people out there who are just cunts.
Yeah, I mean, if like a lot of the stuff that I listen to, I have to be able to separate the art from the artist, you know.
But yeah,
And that's just what it comes down to me.
I think most people, you have to, because if we only listen to stuff with people we agreed with, then we'd barely be listening to a lot of our stuff.
I wouldn't be listening to at least 80% of what I listen to. Like, as sad as that may sound, right? It's true.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to sound a bit hypocritical, but if I like the music, I can separate the art from the artist, you know?
No, I completely, and you said it yourself. You don't like the music of NSBM, and that's completely valid.
I can separate it as long as I think, by the way, I think the key thing with separating the art from the artist, at least for me, is every single person has a different way or how much they're able to do it. I think you shouldn't talk on other people's ability to do it. It's
absolutely.
Everyone has to be able to. Some people can listen to that stuff and just not agree with the stuff they're saying, but like the music. Some people aren't.
Some people just can't put it aside, and that's completely valid.
On both sides, that's completely valid.
Yeah.
But my main thing is, as long as the not political views, that's the wrong way of putting it, because I listen to people but as long as their personality that whatever I don't like about them, like whatever I disagree with about them, rubs off on the music. Like, I'll be honest, I don't mind a couple Ted Nugent songs, but his personality just rubs on every single one of his music, and it's just no.
You see, that was for me with The Shining. Shining is exactly like that. Musically, they have a lot of good stuff, but some of the lyrics, personally, to me, are a little heavy. And I don't get to enjoy it while listening to it.
Shining's the DSBM, right? DSBM band, right?
Let me make sure.
I think
I'm not sure if it's more like DS. It's more like DSBM.
Yeah, that's what I said, DSBM.
Oh, I thought you said okay, never mind. Yeah, no, it's definitely DSBM, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand, like, if you're sensitive about like self-harm and stuff like that, but for me, I would love DSBM if it wasn't for the vocal. I think the vocals in DSBM are horrible. I hate the vocals so much.
Yeah, you see, an album that is well loved and among black metal fans is If I Don't For It by Gris, right? And the vocals just don't click with me. Like, they're really down.
That's the one album. That's the one DSBM album that I actually like. I love that album.
And that's completely valid. But the vocals to me are a little bit too lost. If that makes sense. It's, to me, when I hear it, it's almost like as if emotion is trying to be implemented. But then again, that's what I feel when I listen to it.
Yeah.
There are beautiful passages musically. And I do want to give it another go. In the future, but that was just an example.
The one I was going to say was Modern Megadeth. I think I wouldn't say I'd love them if he weren't a prick, but I feel like his personality just rubs off on every single one of their modern albums. And it just there's just a certain, like, I don't know the word for it, not atmosphere. There's like a certain feeling to albums like Endgame and 13, and I don't like them. I think the music also helps it, but there's just the whole feeling of it. Just no, at least in my opinion.
And I talked about Nocturnal Mortem, another Ukrainian band. So I'm not sure what the hell is going on in Ukraine, but
yeah, I feel like weirdly a lot of Ukrainian black metal is sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird.
Very.
It's because when you leave a communist nation, a lot of people kind of run off to the opposite side as far as they can, unfortunately. Just like when a lot of people leave far right, they run off. I mean, it's the other side. It's just the way stuff works, unfortunately, a lot of the time. But
Sucks because
Is
lot of
hate?
in
I've
Ukraine
never
has
listened to
a
hate.
lot
Is,
of good
I've never listened to Hate Forest. Is Hate Forest in SBM as well?
I don't
I've
know.
not heard of
Yes, they are 100% SPM.
Yeah, I never listened to them, so I would not
I feel like-
know.
I feel like people who say they listen to NSBM for the riffs are just bullshitting themselves.
No, because I do think some people genuinely do.
Um,
Yeah,
if
Nesh's, for example, she does.
A lot of NSBM riffs are
Most
just
people don't.
copies. Are just like there's heaps. Like melodic black metal has better riffs. Folk black metal has better riffs. Most other genres in black metal have better riffs.
Oh yeah, but
Then-
that's just
and
because
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't think NSBM is a genre as more of it is as a movement. I think melodic black metal can be NSBM, right? Like I don't think NSBM necessarily has better or worse riffs than any other genre because it's not a genre. It's just a movement.
you
Yeah.
get what I mean. Like a lot of NSBM riffs are just generic black metal.
well,
There's
yeah,
nothing
but
special about them.
but you could argue that with most other bands. Like most bands
I
are.
was just gonna say this. Like if I listen to thrash metal, like I cannot listen to thrash metal for more than an hour because it gets very repetitive, very fast to me. As much as I like thrash metal, I can like
That is, yeah.
I put thrash metal well below a lot of genres. Like I cannot compare thrash metal to death metal, for instance.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You get
Or
what I mean.
progressive.
I feel like
Why the one reason why I love progressive so much is because I can listen to progressive for a whole week straight, and I get tired of it. Like there's so much variety within progressive, you know.
I get really suspicious when a black metal band heavily uses World War II aesthetic. Very suspicious. Marduk.
Especially if they are from certain parts of the
If certain parts of Europe, especially.
But no, was it Marduk fired their bassist for doing a Nazi salute on stage, and then everyone in the comments were like, "How dare you do this? Black metal's supposed to be edgy."
There's a difference between edgy and acting like a dumbass. He's just fucking dumbass. Even then, Marduk, I don't know why they'd fire him when the rest of the band also think like that. That makes no sense.
Because they don't want to put. They don't want to like.
It was a PR move.
Yeah. Anyway,
Their lyrics have NSBM in it. Like, it makes no fucking sense. Like, if anything, I thought they'd embrace that.
Well, you know what I will say? You know who has it the best? Dungeon Synth Fence.
Not going Dungeon Synth is horrible.
You don't know. I love Dungeon Synth. You don't know anything about Dungeon Synth
I like
artists. I love Dungeon Synth.
I think it's horrible.
It's not full projects, but one or two Dungeon Synth songs on an album. I feel like that's enough.
I have a playlist with 180 plus songs. I love it so much. I don't know.
Is it your sleepy time? Sleepy time.
Yeah, sleepy time, but it's not just for sleepy time. It's study time. Cozy time is good.
So basically, any time you don't actually need to think about the music.
Yeah, Dungeon Synth and ambient music as well. It's not even music. It's just ambient.
A song. There was a sound on TikTok that trended I want to say a year and a bit ago now, last year sometime. Or it was a Dungeon Synth song. It was like the elf gnome thingy.
Oh yeah. I'm talking about.
And that was my first exposure to Dungeon Synth, really. And I don't know, it just doesn't really. I don't know. It's just a lot of it's meh.
All right.
Now
that we're back on topic, Nick, what's your favorite 2025 album?
This is going to make us go off topic again, but I've picked "We Lost Our Hope Along the Way" by Autumn's Dawn. They're an Australian band. I think Australian and Swedish. They really remind me of Agalloch. Just like a lot of their music is very similar to Agalloch. Like the acoustic passages, the clean singing, the screaming. It's very like Agalloch worship, and I think the band do it really well. It's very sorrowful. It's very beautiful. Very ambient. I very much highly recommend that album.
I've been trying to get my hands on a Dungeon Synth LP, but I can never find one.
Good luck, that shit's impossible.
I can never find it. I can only find the cassette tapes.
Cassette? Wait, did you say cassette tapes?
Cassette
Did
tape.
you say cassette tapes?
I've always read them as cassette tapes.
It's
It's
cassette.
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 Listen, guys, I'm from Brazil, guys. Come on. We say
Ah,
cassette. We
Portuguese,
say in
bro,
Brazil.
that's
In
not
Portuguese, we
excuse.
say
English is my first language
cassette.
either.
Come on, guys. In Portuguese, it's cassette. Like, you know.
No, I know. The way you
Come
said it was-
on.
You said it was so. You don't have any LPs, you only have the cassette tapes.
On a serious note, I can only find them on tapes. How about that?
There we go. I don't know.
I like
They
the
were
cassette tapes are coming back.
No, I don't like. I don't get why it's going back. They're shit. They're
It's
so
good
bad.
collectible.
Well, yeah, but who could actually play it? They're just CDs, but worse.
I think they're cool.
I don't know.
When I start buying
I think-
CDs and stuff, I'm gonna buy cassettes because I think they look good.
I only have
Yeah,
one.
it's really cool.
I picked up for like £4.
I'm gonna start buying because I think they're good collector's items and they're another way to support bands.
Exactly.
I just think,
The vinyl shop I went to the other week sold a bunch of them, but they're like $20 each.
yeah, that's the thing. I don't get why did that. I mean, my mate picked up a Thin Lizzy cassette for £1, which she was happy about. In Wales,
But it's just nice. It's just really cool.
they for me just come
It's
off as
another
like as a genuine like why like I know people say like vinyl's like why would you listen to something on vinyl? Cassette is something I genuinely ask people why the hell like it's like vinyl where you have to flip over the side, but like you have to like rewind it from the end to back to the start. Every time you listen.
I feel like a lot of people just like that classic sound, and you can put it in like a Walkman and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
I was
that
trying
90s or 80s feel.
I'm gonna. This is going off topic again, but I was chatting to someone about this earlier. I need the CD. Me and her were saying we need the CD. Did you guys ever have like portable CD players that you used to bring on like
Yeah, of
card
course.
journeys? We need someone to actually manufacture a good one because they apparently, and she was telling me this. Apparently, there was only like one company now that knows how to like make the parts. So like that's why like if you try to buy one now, they're so expensive. It's because only one like small company can make the parts. They know how to make them the small versions that everyone knows. Like that, if you actually look them up now, loads of them are big and bulky because they're just CD players, like put into something. But I need those back because I used to love my portable CD player. That was
I used to use a portable CD player until I got an MP3 player back in like 2012.
Oh, I was using my CD player in like 2016, 2017. I loved it so much. I used to go to sleep with it with my earplugs in, and then my mom would tell me not to sleep with earplugs in because I would like choke if I wriggled around, and it made me scared of listening to stuff with earplugs in until I was like 17. So
No, my mum told me the same thing too. And guess what? I still did it.
to be fair, it's probably a good thing to tell your kids is not to do that because that would be
I
that
don't
would
know
be
if
a
it's possible, but
well, no, because if you wriggle around there, they wrap around your neck, then they could. And that would be a dumb way to die.
I remember.
Oh, yeah.
I wish MP3 players are still popular.
Yeah, they still are a thing, but you need to like get them secondhand. Another thing I wish cars still had CD players. I think it's shit they don't have them.
I thought they still mostly do.
No, they got rid of it now. For Spotify and that, because apparently not a lot of people buy them. Although charts keep saying they're getting sales. I feel like
I feel like a lot of people buy vinyl now and CDs.
no, I think no CDs are about to hit a resurgence because I think people are finally hitting a point where vinyl is just too expensive.
I think a lot of people buy DVDs, but only as collector's items.
Yeah, but like CDs for me, I mean I mostly buy CDs now for new stuff. because it's a max. And I'm talking max. I mean, I don't really pay this for stuff. Max £15 for a CD, whereas I'm mostly going to be paying 25, 30 quid for a vinyl, if not more, plus more for the paying for like shipping and stuff, because I'm in Britain, which is why I have to pay for shipping, like extortionate prices. Like a CD is just cheaper, and you get a better booklet, you get better stuff. I'm not saying vinyl's bad, by the way. I also collect vinyl, but I'm just saying that I think CDs are going to hit a resurgence again because vinyls are just going to get too expensive for people.
It's $30 really
it's already getting
expensive.
expensive for me.
Yes, the 30.
It adds up.
Really expensive
yes,
for a vinyl.
It just it adds up. That's the thing.
Let me check.
Right, $30 for a vinyl. Here is cheap.
It's 63. Yeah, that's because your fucking economy is fucking.
Yeah, bro.
It's
the
60. It's
the Australian dollar is worth like nothing.
Even $63 is decent here for a vinyl.
That's
And
if your economy is tight.
No, it's not the
Everything is
economy.
expensive.
No, it's not. Vinyls are the reason vinyls are expensive isn't because of the economy. It's because they don't make them here, so they have to import them.
Well, yeah, but I'm not paying that much for a. I'm saying I'm not paying that much for. The max I really pay for vinyl is 20 quid. I will not pay. 20 quid is the max I will pay for a single vinyl because I know I'm a cheap prick, which is why I'm saying that. But like that's for at least for a new vinyl, that's like the most I will hope to pay, even though it's not becoming real, unfortunately. So, at least from like big, yeah.
Dude, there's like a place here called JB Hi-Fi, which they sell like electronics, games, movies, vinyl, CDs, all that. To get a vinyl from there, it's like $90, $100, and it's absolutely ridiculous for one vinyl.
That's what I'm saying. Like people are not going to pay those prices anymore. People are going to have to.
A lot of people here I know get bootleg or go to like the secondhand shops or just buy them online from different countries because it's way too expensive.
Most of my vinyl's secondhand because it's just the best where I can get stuff, you know.
But the vinyl shop I went to the other week, they were expensive, but they were still decently priced. It's like $60 for vinyl each, which is decent. It's better here.
It's decent for these days, but I still think that I think the fact that it's one of those, you know, when people like the fact, you know, it's like what's the thing we've been like grown to think is normal when it's actually a scam. I think vinyl prices are that. Right, we've just grown normal to like, oh yeah, that's a good price for vinyl. It's not.
It's better than paying $100.
Oh yeah, Hitler.
I remember my mum telling me when vinyls were like not the current thing, they were selling off like 10 cents.
Yeah, no, there was famous things that were like you could get 10 for £1.
And that they used to use them as frisbees back then. Because it was like 10 cents.
You'd be crying if you had like a Beatles original pressing and you were using it. So your kids have used this as a frisbee. You'd actually be fucking crying now.
Yeah, it's hundreds of bucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still really happy I got an original pressing of Paranoid for $50. So that's really good.
The thing is, the more I actually think about that, because I don't know that deep how like little money that is for that.
Oh, because I was googling and original pressing's like $200. So to get it for 50.
There's an original Australian pressing, an original. I know
check. Hold on.
Because there's certain. This is so off topic, but who cares anymore? If you're still listening at this point, you obviously don't care that we got off topic. Because the original one has like different names for different songs. Because there was a thing where they're late. I think it might be the American versions. Because Americans have short attention spans apparently, and they were like they had to come up with different names for like the instrumental parts of songs. It was like War Pigs would be like the first part of War Pigs we call War Pigs, but then like the second part would have a different name, but the instrumental part would have a different name.
It's like
Even
having
though-
the remastered version on Spotify.
Yeah.
No, it's just War Pigs. Yeah.
Let me check. Master of Reality. Hello.
It says here distributed in Australia by Phonogram Recordings.
Hmm.
So it was sold here, but I don't know if it was made here or not.
I see here on the Spotify it says Warpig / Luke Swall.
Yeah, like Luke
Yeah,
Schwartz, it's just part of War Pigs. It's just the instrumental parts of War Pigs. But in America, they had to. I think it was America. Yeah, it's like in for Master of Reality. This is the track list. All right, and count how many names you will not recognize. You have Sweetleaf, After Forever, The Elegy, Embryo, Children of the Grave, The Haunting, Orchid, Step Up, Lord of This World, Solitude, Death Mask, Into the Void. There are 11 songs on the American pressing, and there are 8 on the UK. Because
There's 8.
The Elegy is just part of After Forever. The Haunting is just the ending of Children of the Grave. Step Up, I think it's just part of Lord of this World. Yep. And then not Solitude. Death Mask is just the intro. Death Mask is apparently a 3-minute song, which is the start of Into the Void. But
This isn't a US pressing because it's got just the one song title.
yeah,
Because it's sold here. I'm not sure if it was made here though.
yeah.
If it was in the 70s, I'm gonna guess it's either he made here or in the UK.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he made vinyls back then.
you probably did.
I don't know if we've ever made vinyls here.
Probably some, definitely. Right, we doing my one now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we should probably
Definitely
not have this be too long.
went off topic
So-
again.
I think it's a bit late for that. My album is one that I know at least one person here has listened to, and one person here has said they will listen to. Try and guess the band from the members. This has members from bands like Soilwork, Arch Enemy. They played live with Merciful Fate and King Diamond. They played live with Paul Diano. You will not be guessing anything because this band sounds nothing like any of them. This is the Night Flight Orchestra with their album Give Us the Moon.
Oh, peak, yes.
You see those bands and you're not thinking I am going to get an ABBA album, a rocking ABBA album. And that's basically what this is. It's very melodic rock. It's very pop. It's barely even rock. It's basically just a 70s pop album, but it's so
good.
catchy. You will listen to this once and the songs will be stuck in your head forever. It's
Very good.
Straps is great. Like The Beating of a Heart is one of the catchiest songs of the year. Cosmic Tide, Give Us the Moon, A Paris Point of View. It's so catchy and it's so fun. Easily one of my favorite albums of the year, basically. And I'd highly recommend it to anyone who is a fan of that more catchy, poppy stuff. It's well worth a listen.
Mhm.
And it will be stuck in your head
Swedish too.
for ages to come. Yes.
Damn right, Swedish.
You're not Swedish. Be quiet.
All right. And moving on from that, before we get to off topic with something else, before we start the next segment, I may as well start it now.
Oh.
What we do every week is we spin a big wheel that has a bunch of albums we all picked to be on there. And then we talk about one of the albums. Now, this week, we've got a very special one because it's not just an album that I know for sure we all love. It's the album that we named this fucking podcast after. We got land on Blackwater Park by Opeth. This is by far, in my opinion, their biggest album, at least their most famous. It was the album that made them famous in North America specifically. It is their 5th studio album. Yeah, 5th studio album. It is produced by Stephen Wilson. It's a name for your bingo card there.
Yes, sir.
And Opeth released on Music for Nations and I'm going to fuck up the pronunciation. So, Bido, if you want to replay Michael Ackerfeld on vocals, guitar.
Mikael Åkerfeldt.
Okay, you say them then. Peter Lindgren?
Peter Lindgren. Peter Lindgren.
On guitar.
Just get Vitor to say the names.
Vitor, you saying?
All right, yeah, it's Mikael Åkerfeldt, obviously on vocals and guitar, and then you have Peter Lindgren on the lead guitar. You have Martin Mendes on the bass guitar, and then finally you have Martin Lopez on drums.
So of course, Vitor takes over on the two easiest names, rather than the two that I fucked with the pronunciations of. I don't think I'm going to leave any surprises by the fact that we've named this podcast after it, that we all do really like this album. But Vitor, if you want to go a bit more in depth on what your thoughts on this album is.
Well, so Blackwater Park is my second favorite album of all time, behind Storm of the Light Spain by Dissection. And I mean, I don't really think there's a whole lot that I can say about this album that hasn't already been repeated 1 million times. I mean, it's like one of the most beloved metal albums of all time for a reason, right? It has amazing riffs. It's very emotional. It has, I think a song specific that I want to mention that I think is pretty underrated is Dirge for November. It is probably my favorite Opeth song. It is very, very emotional, being that, the lyrics are very, very dark. It's about a guy taking suicide. It's very, it's pretty heavy. It's not really, heavy, guitar-wise, but, it's very, dense and, claustrophobic, which really works with, the overall theme and the lyrics of the song. It really makes you, feel what they're trying to convey through the lyrics and whatnot. And, I think it's a really good song. Like I said earlier, there's not a whole lot that I can really say about this album that hasn't already been said before. So, I brought up that song because I think it's very underrated. I don't see a whole lot of people talking about that song.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's all I really can say. It is, if it wasn't for the sentiment that I have for Storm of the Light Spain, this would be my favorite album of all time.
All right, Vitor?
I'll go next. Okay, well, it's fucking peak. We use peak a lot, and we should probably think of other words because peak is peak, but this is literal peak. I just like Hugo. I only have one album over Blackwater Park, and it's also an album that has a lot of emotional weight to me. That being Fear of Blank Planet by Porcupine Tree by Steven Wilson, which takes part in this album, as aforementioned. And I, every time I listen to this album, I finish the album and say, yeah, that song was my favorite. I listened to it again, I was like, yeah, that song was my favorite. And I listened to it again, I was like, no, that other song was my favorite. So I don't know what my favorite song is. It's usually Blackwater Park. It started off with Drapery Falls, then it went to Blackwater Park. I think it's Leper Affinity now. It might be Dirge for November. I don't know. I really don't know. It might be Bleak. I love Bleak. I think Bleak is so underrated. I love Harvest. It's such a perfect placement of the song there. After those two to merge into Drapery Falls, which starts off beautifully. So I like to analyze structures of the albums as well, because I normally listen. That's how I normally listen to music, is whole albums from start to finish. So that kind of impacts me in how I listen to music, and Blackwater Park does it really, really well, obviously, as I just said it. And the closer is phenomenal. It's probably my favorite Opeth song, perhaps. I don't know. I watched Opeth live. They played only Leper Affinity, unfortunately, live from this album, and it was enough. I think if they played the whole album live, I might have passed out halfway through. So I don't know. I love this album.
Yeah. All right.
And the best that we can do for it is just name our podcast after it.
Basically, yeah.
Such an honor.
Mm-hmm.
Michael
would be very honored. Yep.
Exactly.
The four idiots that take about 30 minutes of their time to talk about the price of vinyls in 2025 named their podcast after them.
Mm-hmm.
My turn now, isn't it?
Yep.
Now, I only recently got into Opeth for like in the last year and a bit, so I haven't really had a lot of time to sink into their whole discography yet. But even in that little time, I know how amazing Blackwater Park is. It's like what Bido said, it's very emotional, but it's also heavy. It's also beautiful. It's peaceful. It's chaotic. They blend everything so well together, which I feel like not many bands and albums can do. I've had Opeth really one of the only bands that can do all that and make it sound cohesive. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like every song if I don't know about flows, but every song tells like a different story. But at the end, it's like it all comes together, and it's very beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful. I every time I listen to the songs, I pick a favorite section of the song, and then I listen to it again. I was like, no, that part was better. Like I don't know. The
Yeah.
album is good from to back. The songs are good from to back. And then he
Yeah.
goes on to make a phenomenal discography. The guy's a fucking genius.
Yeah. I will basically agree with everyone's points here. This is a phenomenal album. The only thing I will say is it is not my favorite, or not even in my top 3 Opeths, which might be a bit surprising to people. I just prefer. Wait, would it be top 3? No, I prefer Still Life. That's my favorite. I love the aggression on that album. I think Damnation is Damnation's the acoustic one, right?
I love Damnation. Damnation
It's
has
so
a
beautiful.
big spot in my heart.
And then I love Morning Rise. I think Morning Rise is severely underrated. It's so good. But
People who actually listen to Opeth have it always rated very highly.
yeah, but
It's fucking phenomenal album as well.
but that's not to say that I think this is a lesser album by any means than other people are saying. It's just I think it's fourth in one of the greatest discographies of all time. It is a phenomenal album. I would argue this is truly where the band like perfects this sound. I prefer Still Life. I think Still Life is a better album. This is much more of what you should expect from Opeth, in my opinion. The production, the mix. I think people don't point out enough that Opeth's biggest strength is the mix with Clean and Death Growls. I think it is what makes them stand out from the rest. I think it is what the mix and vocals is what makes the emotion hit even more. It's phenomenal. I would name songs, but every single song is phenomenal. And also, this is not an album where I really care about it as songs. I just listen to it as an album.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. I don't think there's anything worth pointing out different songs, in my opinion. I think it is one of those albums that, like basically every Opeth album, I need to listen to from beginning to end. I can't just dip in and like listen to a song on a playlist or something. If I'm in the mood for Opeth, I listen to an album from beginning to end. I think it's phenomenal. There is a reason we named our podcast after this, because it is, well, not one of my personal favorite albums of all time. It is definitely one of the greatest albums of all time. I'll 100% agree with that. And I love the album cover. I love basically everything around it. I'm so glad it was their kind of big push. And almost like you knew it, they would do one more album in this style and then completely change into the more clean vocal stuff. It is what they've always done, and what they've always done so well.
And it's so good too.
Yeah. But
And it's so good.
it was also the first time they collaborated with Stephen Wilson.
I have a hot take about the album cover.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2 versions of it. There's like one with the greenish black version.
Yeah.
And
there's
one with the more
that's like
gray,
white
right?
and black. Is it a hot
More
take to
white.
say I think I prefer the white and grey version over the original?
I prefer
agree
the
with you.
darker one. I prefer the darker
Right.
one.
Because I just think like both covers are peak, but I like that darkish grey color more. I feel like I don't know.
No, I
When
prefer
I
the
think
darker
of
one.
Blackwater Park, I think of the
The
because
one with
I don't know
the-
why when I first listened to Blackwater Park, the the darker version didn't come up, so I had listened to the one with the grey color first. So whenever I think of the album, I think of that color more than the other ones.
I think of that one as well.
The lighter colored one, when I look at it, it feels like something's missing. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see it.
Both are peak though. I love both covers.
Oh yeah, no, I love both.
And both covers perfectly capture the music that's inside it. They sound. If you look at that cover, that is exactly the feeling you were going to get listening to this.
I think Deliverance might be my favorite cover art.
Peak. I think Still Labs from that. Oh,
Sorceress is their best cover art.
Yeah, I have a Sorcerer shirt and it's beautiful.
Sorceress is their worst album, but it's easily their best cover art.
Yeah.
I don't know about their worst album.
It's not a bad album. I still like
it doesn't mean it's bad. It's their least good album. Yeah.
Actually, Heritage also has a great album cover.
Sure.
And called I like the Last Will and Testament as well.
Yeah.
They've never had a bad album cover.
No.
Well, the other version of Watershed with the fucking passport.
Yeah.
Massive fan.
I don't think that one's even that bad. Why do you guys hate that one so much?
I like it.
It stands out like a sore thumb in their discography. I think they have a very like all their albums, maybe until they turn to a prog band, which I think is like.
Well, I think even their prog albums have a similar style to all of them, right?
Well, no, but they're a lot lighter, which I think is my. We'll probably get into this when we do like a full-on video full-on podcast on Opeth at some point. But I feel like a lot of them have a lighter, like happier covers compared to the darker, dingier ones.
I think that's true with Incauda and Pale Communion, but both Sorceress and Heritage are not very happy covers.
To be honest, I never really look at the dead guy on the Sorceress cover. I always look at the.
It's not dead guy. It's like full of gore on the bottom.
Yeah,
it's gory. It's the only Opeth album with gore on it.
Yeah, but I feel like what I'm meaning. I'm not meaning that like gore. I mean like the atmosphere of their death metal stuff is all very similar. It's very haunting. It's very dark. It's just very like. Almost like you're going through a walk in the countryside in the pitch black and there's no one around you and it is just you and the grass and everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like that the other cover of Watershed is like the first one where it's like, oh, this isn't that anymore. We're just. But that's just me.
Yeah, the alternate cover of Watershed.
Fun fact. Window pane is my alarm.
Peak.
See, I couldn't do that because then I would start to hate that song.
No, to me, what was the? It was Postmortem by Slayer was my alarm for the entirety of like sixth form and secondary. I can't listen to that song because that opening riff just gives me fucking PTSD of like waking up out of sleep. Like, it's like my favorite Slayer song, and it's like.
Although I understand it, but it makes me feel good when I wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do that because it would just make me hate that song.
I can set my alarm clock to be a Popular Monster by Falling in Reverse. It will make sure I get up to turn up.
Oh, yuck. Fuck that. I wouldn't want to stop my day listening to that garbage.
But yeah.
No, I get what you mean there, Connor, because whenever I hear the iPhone alarm, I can feel my chest sink. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. If you're listening to this podcast, I'm assuming you like Opeth because, well, the name. But let us know what your thoughts on this album are. Is it your favorite Opeth album? I say most people say it is, but
also let us know the debut album of the band you think is the best.
Yes. And if you have any other comments or things about any of the other waffle we have chatted about in this podcast, just let us know. Let us know your thoughts on anything we've spoken about. Let us know. Follow everyone on whatever stuff we've gotten below. Go check out other episodes if you haven't already. And yeah, we will see you next week.